waiting for you to do, and your hand is moving right now. You are still showing up at the tomb of every Lazarus, and your voice is calling me out. And right now, I know you're able, and right now, come through again. You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. But you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will. Everything's possible by the power of the Holy Ghost. A new wind is blowing right now, breaking my heart and soul, taking over like it's Jericho. My walls are all crashing down. Right now, I know you're able, and my God, come through again. You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will. You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will. You never lost a battle. 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 You never will. You never will. You never lost a battle. 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 You never will. You never will. You never lost a battle. 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 You never will. You can do You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will. You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will. I know you never will. And I know you never
Come on, let's give him great, great praise in this house. Come on, keep on praising. Oh, yes, Lord.
Let's just sing that one more time, right? You can do all things.
Sing it out with us.
You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will.
Oh, come on, let's give him great praise. Oh, literally, we're not going to go through this season. We're going to grow through this season. Y'all, I have grown like 15 pounds. Yes, Emily's been cooking cornbread and butter beans and peas, and I haven't ate all day.
It's making me so hungry.
Yes.
But, y'all, we have some snow cones out there
Yes.
out front for you, just as a small treat from Hope.
Yeah.
To say,
Hey, it's free. You've already paid for it. We took it right out of church account. Don't go out and get you a snow cone. It is already paid for. All those of you that are online, don't you wish you was here right now? I wish I could mail you a snow cone. We had the cutest picture. I knew it to say this. Chase, did you see Waverly?
yes.
She is watching on the Waverly. I said, give a shout out. Give a shout out to Waverly right now on the line. Go ahead with the announcement. I think so much for these announcements. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
We have real people in the house. Come on, somebody. We have real people in the house. Man, I've been imagining y'all out there, but y'all it's a lot better with real people. Y'all, and we have the greeters trained so well. I mean, you can't get out here until we finish. So we just have to church. Amen. Wait, you can. One thing we have got together is you can text 94000. I feel like a televangelist right now. Get your phone, touch the screen, text 94000 and 94,000, and you can get a Connect card. Giving link is on there.
You text Hope first.
Yes. Tell them about it, sweetheart. Yeah, go ahead.
You text Hope first to 94,000.
Yeah.
9420, right there. And
Hope first.
you're going to give you a link for a Connect card because you're trying to stay as touchless as possible. Make sure everybody stays comfortable. It also gives for your giving. It connects you to online giving. A link is right there on text up on your in your text messages, y'all. And we also have giving boxes in the back. So on your way out today, if you want to drop something in those, maybe you don't do the online thing, it's super simple. You can just put them right in there. They're locked. They're safe. And we'll get that also. But it also gives you the blood drive information. When you send a text to that number, we're doing a big blood drive next week. They are low on blood.
Yeah, they I feel like she just now said that we're going to go over to Joel Live. She just kind of looked at me like, you know, take it right now. Yeah, thank you. Here it is. Y'all doing so good. We're having a blood drive next week, guys. It used to be United Blood Services. They are, I did not want to mispronounce their name. Violent. Y'all are watching today. We're so glad to partner with y'all to help reach our community. Guys, this is, I know we have a lot of fun. I'm genuinely so overjoyed to see you and invited you here. We had an amazing 9:15 service, and I'm rejoicing. But in the middle of this, we do know that there's a major shortage, and so we want to be a part of this. So if you can give us a few slots left, and so just text 94000 and sign up to give blood and give the hope. All the same.
So proud.
Go ahead.
Isn't that awesome? But we're just so excited, guys, that you are here. We also have a kids online service. If you have a small child with you today and they want to plug in, you're welcome to. We've got some headphones. We tried to get some of the word out, but they can plug right in and hear a kids lessons and music, everything straight for them. And I know Kate did that during our 9:15 service, and he just seemed like he really loved it. And we have discussion questions that I'll get to go back home and talk to him about what he learned watching kids service today at Hope Kids. And so y'all plug into that if you want to, but just make sure you grab one of those cards to be able to get a free ice cream. I keep saying calling ice cream, but a free snow cone today because we want you guys to have that. But thank you, and thank you to our team. Can I just do a shout out right now? We have had a dynamic team serving so much these last couple of weeks, making sure that this place is we are thinking through all the precautions and regulations, this worship team learning songs. Thank y'all so much. We hope would not exist and be what it is without the volunteers that we have.
And sincerely, Hope Church, thank you for being the church. I mean, we've been not going doing in-person service now for, I guess, way long, for 5 years now. And it seemed like 6 years, but thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for being here. And him said, who's going to be there? I said, baby, I have no idea, but I am so glad to see you. I love you, Hope family. I love you so much, and I'm glad you're here. Are you glad you're here? Are you glad to see everybody? James, come on up here. Jake, come on up here. I want you to put that first verse up there, Adrian, if you will. I just turn the keyboard up. Jay didn't know I was going to do this. I want you to lean into that song. Minister in that song. Just a little forehead, yes.
You made me forget the verse.
Miracles when you move.
Okay, ready? Miracles when you move, such an easy thing for you to do. And your hand is moving right now. You are still showing up at the tomb of every Lazarus, and your voice is calling me out. And right now, I know you're able. And right now, come through again.
Sing with us.
You can do all things.
Thank you, Jesus.
You can do all things but fail. Oh, you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will.
Let's sing that second verse. Everything's possible.
Holy Ghost, a new wind is blowing right now, breaking my heart of stone, taking over like it's Jericho.
Alright.
My walls are all
Let me hear
crashing
your declaration right now.
down, and right now I know you're able, and my God will come through again.
Let's sing that chorus together.
You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will.
If you believe that, give God some great praise. Thank you, Jerry. Come on, somebody needs to get ready to spirit right now. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I want to talk to you today. And we started a brand new series called Hope Praise. Everybody say Hope Praise. Prayer changes things. Can I get an amen? Sermon title for today, you can be seated as legendary prayers. Legendary prayers. The Bible says in James chapter 5, verse 16, that the effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. Somebody say it's effective. It's effective. It will get things done. Fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. Speaking about legendary prayer. I read a story recently of Honey. Of course, there's a book that's written about his life and just his fame of being he's just really famous for praying rain down. He was the circle maker. I recommend the book. It's a very good book. But what Honey would do, Honey would take his staff. He would take it and he would draw a huge circle all around. And during times of drought, when a century before Christ comes to the earth, Israel was having a major drought, and Honi drew a circle and just began to pray and say, Lord, I am going to stay in this circle until rain begins to fall. It began to drizzle, and he said, I did not pray for a drizzle, I prayed for a downpour. And it began to downpour. And they said it literally was like hell just beating and coming down. And he said, Lord, I didn't pray for this, I prayed for blessings and for favor. And it just become a perfect rain to be able to go and for them to be able to harvest and come out of that drought. And I will tell us all today that through that kind of prayer, we will see great miracles. Can we say amen?
Amen.
Yesterday, America's spirit was lifted as we watched as the shuttle left Earth, as the rocket left the ground. It was just so inspiring to see that. History was made yesterday as NASA and SpaceX launched American astronauts from American soil for the first time since 2011. I love that we are a part of history. Today is historical for hope today. And I love what's going on in the atmosphere, how God is moving. And I love this, that as a country, America is reaching for the stars again. And I would say that we as a church and we as Christians, we need to reach higher. We need to believe bigger. Our dreams need to expand, believing that God is able to do anything. Anything is possible with Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I got used to amen myself. Right here. Man, it's so good to have some amens in the pew. But I've watched, and man, this is a very special day. It's Pentecost Sunday. And what our world needs now more than anything is a fresh encounter with the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Being baptized with the Holy Spirit does not make me any better than you, but it does make me better than me.
Right.
It does make me better than me. And just a simple definition that I want to just throw out there today, Pentecost, of course it means 50, but it's really its power to make a difference. Pentecost was never meant to be just a still monument, but it was a movement that started a church. This is that we are celebrating the birthday of the church today, when the church was birthed. Amen. It is a movement. I don't believe that God has called us to stand still at this time, but I believe that He has called us to move into greater things, to believe for greater things, and to believe that at the day of Pentecost, that was not the only time that thousands could be saved at one time. I'm believing for hundreds and thousands to be saved just in our city in the next little while. Come on, somebody. I'm believing for great and mighty things. That's Pentecost ushered in just a promise that God said, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Peter stood up and he said, this is that was spoken by the prophet Joel. And I will tell you today that everything that you read in the book of Acts is available for you today. We can experience it.
Amen.
We can stand on the faith and the experiences of others and say, God, I'm believing you for miracles, I'm believing you for wonders, and I'm
Amen.
believing you for power to work in my life.
That's right.
But you see, this thing before we launch out, there's something that we always need to check, and that's the foundation. The rocket, I loved it. I watched it, and the day before when it was going to launch, and the weather delayed it, and I had given all the kids in. I was fascinated by it. And so I just began to study up on it, and something that no one reported on was the launch pad. Launch pad number 39. It has launched many rockets into space. We have sent many missiles and rockets, and man, there's a whole list of what Launch Pad 39 has launched out for us. The foundation, if you measure it, is 390 feet long by 320 feet wide, to a depth of 48 feet. Solid, reinforced concrete. That tells me something. Is this. That rocket, give me the rocket with the fire coming out of it. That rocket could not have went 5 feet off the ground if that foundation wasn't sure.
Amen.
If that foundation wasn't what it needed to be. And I will tell you this, that prayer is the launch pad for every spirit-powered and spirit-infillment that we desire.
That's right.
It's going to come through prayer. Prayer must be our foundation. Prayer must be our challenge. Prayer must be our passion. I call hope to a fervent prayer life. What our country needs is prayer. What our city needs is prayer. We need prayer for peace in our country. And I said this in the 9:15 service, and I'll say it again today. It's this. Guys, in Christianity, there is no room for racism in Christianity.
That's right.
No, there's no room. At Hope Church, we didn't just decide this, that we started off like this. It is time for the church, it is time for hope to shine and show and spread the love of Jesus
Amen.
all throughout our community. Come on, church. It's time. The Bible says this. If you hate your brother who you do see, how can you say you love God who you have seen? He said, if you say that and you live like that, you are lying. He said, because that's not possible. And I tell us today that what is possible is to be Christians and to be difference makers in our community where we show the love and the kindness of Jesus Christ. That is hope's foundation.
Amen.
Even Jesus said, how can our church be a church that is continually flowing in the power of the Spirit? That is a question that all through our time apart, I have been asking and just saying, God, that is my greatest desire. God, is when we come back together, is that your Spirit will have free flow in our services. God, that you can have your way, God, whatever it is that you desire to do, God, you do it. In Acts chapter 4 and 31, I believe answers that question. It said, and when they had prayed. Somebody say, when they prayed.
When they prayed.
When they had prayed, the place, Acts 4 and 31, it says the place where they were assembled together. I like that. It said they were having church, y'all. They were assembling. We're assembling together. I got to work on my jokes. When they were assembling together, we're shaking. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, and they spoke the word of God with boldness. It comes from prayer. Folks, bold prayers honor God, and God honors bold prayers.
Amen.
Here's the truth that God will tell Abraham, is anything too hard for me? Is anything impossible for me? The answer always will be no. Nothing is too hard for God. So go ahead, ask God to part the Red Sea like Moses. Go ahead and ask God to let the sun stand still like Joshua did. Ask him to back it up 10 degrees like Hezekiah. Go ahead like Elijah and just throw an axe in the river and just watch it as it floats. My point is this. We have many examples of the impossible things happening in the Word of God. Let's join our faith with those of old and those that have had faith before us and say we are standing in 2020 and believing God for the impossible.
Amen.
I love the miraculous moments when human limitations and divine power, intersect and God does the impossible. Here's a promise. God is waiting. He is ready to answer your prayer. He is ready to do a miracle. Get this in your system. Get this in your heart. God is for you.
Amen.
Somebody needs to hear that. God is for you. Even in times of pain, I will tell you, He's still a God of promise.
That's right.
Even in times of disappointment, God is still working His power. God is for you. And I'm feeling to tell you this, that if we believed that, then our prayers would be greater. If we truly believe that God is for us and that God is a God of all impossibilities, our prayers would not be small, but they would be big. You see, it is not for us to bring the results, but it is for us to pray and to have faith and to walk into every situation believing. Leave the outcome to God and trust what He allows. But I tell you, I believe and I know that God is calling us to just radical faith for bold prayers. And I tell you today that my God is able to do it. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Big audacious prayers in our life. Prayers. Talking to us today about legendary prayers. Legendary prayers. Prayers that will outlive us. Prayers that goes beyond even our physical life. Today, our hearts are broken. I look back and I see James' wonderful family here today. And I want to tell you something. Hope Church loves you so much.
Amen.
Man, we love y'all. We love y'all so much. And I know all of Hope today, our hearts are right with you. Well, right in, I will tell you today that James' prayers live beyond. Because while James was making his way to heaven, amen, his daughter and boyfriend, your boyfriend? Good, I'm about to get you all together. No. Boyfriend, look at me. Give me your first name again, I know it. Andre, look at me. He's like, Pastor, will you tell me about baptism? I'm like, bro, will I tell you about baptism? Man, right there in the ICU waiting room, when all hope seems gone, when all things seem lost, Andre and I begins to talk about baptism and giving his life to Jesus Christ. And right there in the ICU waiting room, as James was making his way to heaven, his daughter and her boyfriend made up their mind that they are on a journey to heaven also. Repenting of their sins right there in the ICU waiting room. And they're getting baptized today. Come on, somebody. Woo. Oh, that's legendary prayers that live on beyond ourselves. God called us to be passionate about things that are beyond just what we can see. Things that we can just touch. I'll never forget my dad brought me on the back porch one day, and my dad had already been getting sick and just going through a very bad health crisis. So my dad brought me on the back porch, and he said, son, you see that? You see that oak tree? And I said, Dad, yeah. I said, I see that. You planted that? He said, yes, son. He said, I planted that. He said, I planted that. He said, but son, I won't see it to its fullest place where it's going to shade. He said, but I planted that knowing that my grandchildren would need shade in this backyard. And so I said, I went ahead and planted it. He said, I may never see it to grow all the way up. He said, but I still planted it. And I'm telling you, we need to get to a place in our life that we plant and say, God, if I don't see all the harvest, that's okay. I will plant. I'm going to keep on planting because I want to live a life of legacy, a life of legendary prayers. Come on, church. Oh, yeah. Prayers are prophecies. That's why it's so important. We call ourselves to prayer. We call ourselves to passionate prayer, fervent, effectual prayer. The prayer that we stay on our knees until the circulation begins to go. It's when we rock and we pray and we say, God, I'm staying on the floor, God, until I get peace about this situation. Prayers that says, God, I'm going to pray until I feel that heaven's been touched and all of hell is shaken. God, I'm going to pray until there's peace in Petal. I'm going to pray until there's peace in Hattiesburg. I'm going to pray until there's peace in Mississippi. I'm going to pray until there's peace in America. Come on, it's time for us to save our nation. Woo! And we're going to do it through passionate prayer. Not, I lay me down to sleep kind of prayer. I believe those days need to be paused for a while. The Christians and people that do know how to pray needs to call out to God. We need favor in courthouses. We need favor. The Supreme Court is passing laws and bringing down things about the church house. Whether it be right or whether it be wrong, God only knows what tomorrow holds. But I know this, I want my prayers in heaven. The Bible said that Cornelius' prayers went up as a memorial to God. I feel like preaching in this house. I feel like preaching in this house. Oh, God, have mercy. The Bible said that Cornelius' prayers went up as a memorial to God. I want us all to get a revelation. As a matter of fact, this is nowhere in my notes. The Holy Ghost is just all on me right now. My Lord have mercy. We call that anointing, y'all. We call that anointing. Amen. I tell y'all something funny. I think I already is. I tell y'all something funny. Man, this is great stuff. What was it for the
Clipper.
Clipper. For the Clipper. He is the most dignified preacher you've ever seen. Three-piece, thick, knot tie. I mean, it's everything perfect. Now, anyway, he wear a white shirt and he preach and man, he sweat. He preach, and when he come home, his wife would wash that shirt and have a yellow ring where all the sweat was. And his wife said, "That's anointing, baby." That's anointing. That's anointing. Let me tell you something. Cornelius, the Bible said Cornelius prayed so much, and y'all, a Gentile nation was not even grafted in at that time. It was just all about the Jews at that point. But Cornelius prayed with such fervor, with such passion, and with such consistency that God said, as a memorial. In other words, he prayed, and the prayer was there, and God didn't. God did. He was just there. All of a sudden, he prayed again, and it stacked up again. Another prayer. Whole time, Cornelius, he doesn't know what's going on in heaven. But he just keeps on praying, and then it just stacked up again. Finally, there was such a huge memorial of prayers sitting in heaven. Oh, I feel God in this house right now. Amen. I believe that God just looked over there and is like, we got to do something about all these prayers right here. I've got to answer Cornelius' prayers. And they're like, well, it's not quite time for the Gentiles to be grafted in and the Jews and all this thing to get together. But God's like, hey, those prayers are so high, something's got to move. What am I trying to say? It may not be a season. You may not feel it. You may not know it. Everything may be shattered in your life, but just keep on praying. God hears it, and you're doing a memorial up in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
The answer is on the way. Oh, hallelujah. And I'm doing my mess and all kind of stuff like that. Man, your prayers are prophecies. Your prayers are prophecies. They are the best predictor of your spiritual future. Your prayers are your prophecies. They are the best predictor of your spiritual future. Ultimately, the transcript of your prayers becomes the script of your life. If God answered every one of your prayers that you prayed this week, would our world be different? Would there be lost people on these pews? Would our nation be at peace? Would families be together? Would hearts be healed? Would there be miracles beyond your house and your neighborhood and those that you know? Would it be different if God answered all of our prayers that we prayed this past week? I laid and pondered that last night until I literally wet my pillow with tears, praying for people I have not met, praying for people I don't know, praying names started coming in my mind and my heart that I have no idea if I saw them today I would not know. Begin to weep and to pray over the lost of our world, the lost of our city. And I'm like, God, move me with what breaks your heart. God, begin to stir me, God, to a place of fervor and passion. And God, if sleep does not come tonight, that's all right. God, I want to touch you. I want to spend time with you. I want to pray for the lost. I want to pray for my city until everybody in the Pine Belt area is saved. Our job is not done. We cannot rest. We cannot pause. Whatever the cost, God, help us win the lost.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm so passionate about it. You see, if we truly believe that there's a heaven and we truly believe that there's a hell, then this thing drives us to a moment of fervent prayer. And so we begin to pray and declare that my family will be saved, that my city will be saved. Walked into Lowe's, and I declared everybody saved. In Jesus' name. I don't know how saved they got, but they weren't social distancing. I didn't lay my hands on nobody. I mean, it's like 6 feet away, like in Jesus' name. Like, at Walmart, they all on me. I'm like, girl, is that how you had that? That's good. We're good. We're good. They're like, you go to Sam's. Hey, has anybody been to Sam's? It's like everybody going to the B5. You know what I mean? Me and a sweet lady was looking at, and there's 2 things of meat left. And I'm like, and the limit was 2. And I got there first. And Hope first, 94000. But I got there first, and I was like, and so I got my ground meat, and I said, ma'am, just come on. I said, you want me to put it in your buggy? Y'all, you'd have thought I'd have gave her a whole cow. I mean, she was so happy. She's like, are you sure? You sure? I'm like, absolutely. I said, I'm feeding 5. I said, how many do you feed? And I forget exactly what she said. She said, yes, it's a really good blessing to me. And I'm like, hey, man, I said, that's all right. I said, you about to check out? Yeah, I said, I'm going to check out. I said, come on. I not only want to buy it for you. You're going to be that thankful, and you're going to get that big of a smile. And they didn't want to have masks on. So anyway, it's like, should have, though. But man, I thought today, y'all, I felt so good, just in kindness, y'all. I'm telling you, this world is it's like watering a plant. Have you ever watered a plant that hasn't been watered in about 3 weeks? It's looking up at you like, what's up? It's like, why did you plant me underneath this shed if you're not going to water me? And I'm like, well, I didn't plant you, Emily planted you. And it's like, I want to grow. And I'm like, all right. And so the other day, I really poured out a whole 2. Well, Emily was there. And so I was pouring, and she just wanted me to do something else and dig up all kind of rocks and stuff. And I was trying to tell her that it was not the will of God. And we just need to pray about it. I need to pray. And I, but anyway, I dug them up. And while I was watering that plant, well, Emily was sitting there, and she looked so pretty, and the sun was shining. It was really cold water, and I just went all over her. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Baptized. Listen, that has nothing to do with my nose. But prayers are prophecy. They're a transcript of your life. That's the script of your life. It's a transcript of your prayers. So let us reach heaven. Let us, and guys, I don't know when I've been more passionate about a sermon than I am today. It's God, help us to be passionate about praying. Bring us back to praying. Today, I wrote out a message, and it's to bring you down a journey of Pentecost, and down a journey of just the book of Acts, and I want to do that. I made a heart of that. But the Lord just kept bringing me back to this. If we will start praying, God will lead us into everything that we need to walk in. Amen. But if we're not praying, and y'all, it's like trying to turn a car that has no movement. Does this make sense? Yeah. You get the car moving, it's a lot easier to turn. When you start praying and you get sensitive to the Spirit and the leading of God, God can lead you into greater areas. God can do great things in your life. I just want to give you an example here today is this. Joshua. You'll find this in the 6th chapter of Joshua. You go all the way and you can read verse by verse. The 16 verses. It's a fascinating read. And I won't go through all those. But basically, Joshua and the army, 600,000 men, was marching on Jericho. And the Bible said that the city was walled up, it was fortified. It's just you could not get through it. You couldn't go over it, it was just fortified. You couldn't. But the Bible says that God spoke to Joshua and said, I've given you the city. I've given you the city. And then the next thing he does, he said, I want you to walk around these walls every day. Guys, let me tell you, God has already given a lot of us victories and miracles. We need to start walking in the obedience that God has called us to.
Amen.
Because all those, is this making sense? Even though the miracle is already ours, if we do not walk in the obedience that we do know at this point, we're never going to get to that miracle.
That's right.
But if we'll start walking in the obedience that we know, we're heading to that miracle, and that miracle is going to happen.
Amen.
And the Bible said this. You look at, I believe it's around verse 2 or 3. It said this, that Joshua and them went around the wall on the first day. They did this at 6 o'clock in the morning. Y'all love them. And so they went around, and then the wall's a mile and a half wide. I mean, mile and a half around. And the walls, I mean, just amazing story. But the Bible said this, that they arose on the second day. Verse I believe it's 14 there. So on the second day, somebody needs to get a revelation of this right here. So on the second day, they marched. Somebody say on the second day.
On the second day.
That means they didn't get the miracle on the first day, but they still showed up on the second.
Right.
I'm going to say that again. I think we'll get a little better amen on this. That means they didn't get the miracle on the first day, but they showed up on the second day. Don't get discouraged about what you didn't get in the past, but be encouraged that He's a God of right now. He's a God of tomorrow. He's a God of today. He's a God that can do the impossible. You say, Pastor, man, you're really passionate about miracles, and do you realize what has just now happened in Hope Family? Let me just tell you something. And I've spoken to the boys. Guys, when I walked into that ICU room with Lincoln and Logan, guys, let me tell you something. That's the same exact ICU room that I spent over 3 months laying on those couches, just wondering if my dad was going to live through that night. Walk back into the ICU room, right past the room where my dad went on to heaven with. And I bet you bet your bottom dollar that the enemy said, here we go again. I'm like, hey, you don't get it. You don't get to get in my head. You don't get to get in my spirit. I said goodbye to my daddy on Friday. On Sunday morning, I was in the pulpit preaching about miracles.
That's right.
And so I would tell you, the greatest legacy, the greatest thing that we can do is to keep preaching, keep praying, keep praising God, and say, God, even when we can't track you, we trust you. And God, even though we don't get sometimes the results, God, that we want, we still say the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And we still, with faith, believe for miracles. That's not easy. That's not easy. But that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. We say, God, you are able. They walked around the second time, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time. So they kept believing, they kept praying. And when you look at this, guys, is one thing's fascinating. Joshua told him, said, look, I not only want you to walk around the walls, but I want you to do it silently. I want you to do it silently. Guys, can you imagine 600,000 men walking around a wall, silent? I mean, I cannot imagine every single day. Because here's the point. Joshua, when he was a younger man, he went and spied out Jericho. He spied out with Caleb and 10 others. When they come back with the report, the 10 others said, there's no way we can go into Jericho. There's no way we can go into Jericho. But 2 of them, Joshua and Caleb, come back and said, yes, we can. So Joshua come to a point and comes to a place in his life where he said this, I don't need any more doubters. I need more shouters. I'll say that again for a fact. We don't need any more doubters. We need some more shouters. And I will tell you, with all the negativity that is wrapped in our world right now, it's okay to turn some things off. It's okay to just be selective on what voices get to speak into your life and just say, I'm going to move away from the doubting and I'm going to move more into shouting. And just say, God, I know that you're able. Come on, somebody. The glory of the story is this. that on the sixth day, they began to shout. And can you imagine 600,000 begin to raise a holy roar unto God? Man, I wish I could have been there. Man, what an amazing thing. And the Bible says that the walls come crumbling down. The Bible says they fell flat. The men were able to go in for victory. Here's the pattern, guys. And here's the point of this. If you keep circling the promise, God will ultimately deliver on it. Get specific with your prayers. Get specific with your prayers. Saying, God, this is what I'm believing you for. Get very specific. I believe that the story of Jericho, the greatest thing we can take away from it is that they circled it. They said, this is what we are wanting. This is what we're believing for. I believe the miracle of Jericho is a pattern. What is your Jericho? What promise are you praying for right now? What miracle are you marching around right now? What dream does your life revolve around? What is it that holds you captive? What is it that consumes you that you need to circle and say, God, I'm believing you for it? Growing up, my dad they'd try to bring us on a vacation. And it landed probably about every other year or so. But I loved it when we went to Gatlinburg. That was a big deal, man. We were going to Gatlinburg, and man, that was just wow. We're going to see mountains, and we're going to see bear, and we're going to. That was a huge deal. My dad would get out the big maps. Has anybody ever seen what I'm talking about? The real huge maps. You get them from Texaco, you get them from Exxon. He get a big one. And weeks before we were going to go, he'd take out that big map and he'd circle Gatlinburg. He'd circle right there the whole Pigeon Forge area. He'd circle it. And so every day we'd go by and we'd get to see that's where we're going. And so when we got in the car, it was me and my brother and my sister, and we had a pretty small car. We had all of our luggage, and all of us are in the back seat. And you know brothers and sisters, and if you know my brother, my older brother, if you're listening, older brother, you know. And man, he would just, oh, Lord have mercy, he's the most aggravating thing in the world. Oh, but some of y'all may have brothers and sisters like that. But here it is, guys. I knew where we were going. And so when we went through long places and long routes, and Corey began to get on my nerves, I knew that I could just, if I was just quiet, I knew we was going to wind up at that destination. And so we'd get about halfway there, so Daddy would show us on a map, this is where we're going. It would be all crooked, it would be up, and it'd be down, and it'd be curvy. But I knew the destination, and so I was able to be patient. I knew where we were going, so I was able to calm myself and not go crazy. I was able to just be squished into that car because I knew the destination was going to be mountains and we were going to be able to see bears. And I also knew that I knew my daddy enough, and I've been on enough vacations with my daddy, that if my daddy circled it, then my daddy was going to bring me to it. And I'm telling you something, guys. God has circled some things in your life, and some of you need to circle some things in your life. And I have served God long enough to know this, that if He circled it and He's promised it, and you pray for it, He will deliver on His promises. See, having something that draws you. See, many times instead of drawing circles, we draw blanks. Circle your Jericho. What is your goal in life? What is the promise that you need to circle? What are the written goals in your life? You see, 1,000 years after Jericho, Jesus Christ, after walking down in Jericho, 1,000 years later, Jesus Christ was walking in Jericho. And a blind man was there. And someone asked and said, Jesus, heal this blind man. And the Bible said Jesus just kept walking. He said, nobody said to ignore. But he come pretty in close proximity to the blind man. And he asked the blind man, what do you want? What do you want? Well, it's obvious. He's blind. I'm sure someone would be there and say, well, it's very obvious he's blind. No. Christ wanted to hear something specific because he said, this area represents a miracle of being specific, of circling, getting down and saying, God, I'm asking you for something specific. I'm asking you for it. So some of you, you could get out of debt if you circled your bills and got really specific about attacking it and about doing things God's way.
Amen.
Well, that went over like didn't go over too good. But when you're online, you got to be careful what you say. But guys, let me tell you, some of you can see an unbelievable relational healing. You can see if you'll circle it and pray on it and let God do great things in your life. Let me just break this really down for you. Prayer is sometimes boring because you have no destination. Jesus is asking today, what do you want me to do for you? How do you want me to fix you? How do you want me to work in your life? What a promise. What a miracle, what a dream. What dream do you want me to fulfill? He's asking, what will you allow me to do in your life? He's asking, what is it that you want? What will you allow to work in my life? Will you allow me to work in your life? I heard a story of a little boy that went to a restaurant and his mom was with him and they had a big menu board, huge menu board. And the boy looked up at the menu board and it was a hamburger place and all they sold was hamburgers. And he looked up at his mama and said, I want a chicken sandwich. She said, that's not on the board, man. She said, it's not on the board. Let me just pause and tell you something right here, guys. Even though it's not on the board, it can still be yours.
That's right.
Even though you can't see it clearly, even though you cannot know how in the world it's going to come about, you can still have it. God is not a respecter of persons. He is a respecter of faith.
Amen.
That's right.
He is moved by faith. God, give us faith to believe and to circle and to believe and get specific and say, God, this is what I'm asking. But I'll pose this to you as they come back from the music in closing. I'll pose this question of this. Can we really expect God to move in areas that does not move us? God, help us to be moved with compassion and moved with our hearts when we see things and we hear things. And let us be moved by the lost, moved by situations and things in our family. And just move, God. Help us to be moved by it. Let us not just read our Bible, but start circling the promises. Let's not just make a wish, but write down a list of life goals. Don't just pray, but do a prayer journal. Define your dream. Claim your promise. How do you spell your miracle? Spell it out. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this point probably in a later sermon, but I want to say this. I feel to say this. We need to rediscover what it really looks like to pray for something versus praying through something. I was raised being taught, baby, you pray through it. You pray through it. You pray through it. You pray through your doubt. You say, Joel, how can you preach like you're preaching today? I've got over 20 years of walking in the pulpit, preaching through pain, preaching through disappointment, preaching for miracles when I did not see miracles, preaching through loss, preaching gain when I myself was losing, preaching about a great God when it seemed I could not find Him. You pray through it. I learned at a young age that you just keep on praying until you pray through. Sometimes we pray for something and we can just leave it there. I'll pray for you. But then there's some things that we pray through.
Amen.
got in a very bad wreck when I was a young age, and I'll never forget. Best friend of mine, one of my best friends, lost her life in the car accident. I basically lost this finger, and he sewed it back together. My elbow was sticking out, cracked ribs, concussion, all kind of things going on with me. And do whatever they do to lock the jaws of life and stuff to get me out of there. And I was out of town. Mom and Dad was living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I was in Jackson, Mississippi. I'll never forget, I honored this person. They knew my family. I never met them. But they heard about it, showed up to the scene. And they jumped up in that ambulance with me. And I remember I was obviously coming in and out of consciousness. And they said, Joel, I'm here. And I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray you through this. You're going to be okay. I'm going to pray. I'm going to keep on praying. And I remember for hours being there and just hearing in and out of doctors doing different things and talking about, can we do this? And do we do a surgery? Or can he do it? Can we give you medicine? Can we do this? And in and out. But I remember tuning in. That sweet man that just kept praying through it. That just kept speaking peace on my bedside. Kept saying, we're going to come through this. You're going to be all right. I'm not leaving this bedside. I'm not leaving. We're going, whatever, maybe if they bring you back, if they have to do surgery, I'm walking in there. I'm praying through this. I'm going to pray. I'm going to keep on praying. You go ahead and rest. I'm going to pray while you resting. You close your eyes. I'm going to keep. Let me tell you something, church. We need to rediscover how to pray through some things. Pray through when the bank account is low and pray through it. When things seem to be shattered and things seem to be lost and things seem to be gone, we just keep on praying through it. When the city seems to be in a wreck, you pray through it. Me and God just had a conversation. I'm going to pray until there's peace in heaven. I'm going to pray until there's peace in Hattiesburg. I'm going to pray until I'm going to keep on praying. I was raised on preaching like I'm preaching to you today. I was born and raised in this kind of stuff. Praying, hearing my mama all hours of the night. God, keep Joel. God, anoint Joel. God, protect Joel. God, keep him from harm. God, be with him. I was raised with my daddy in the living room saying, oh, God. Oh, God, I didn't know. And his words sometimes and most of the times was not completely formed. But he said, oh, God. But what I didn't know, my dad was suffering through pain. He was doing law and clerk and just doing cases and going into courtrooms and pleading, doing all kind of things with just massive head pain. Things that said that he should have never been able to formulate the thoughts and do the things that he did. But my dad learned to pray through it. My dad learned when we went through economical crisis and when the budgets, things were not going well. I didn't even know we were poor growing up. I had no idea. I didn't know we were poor. But I didn't know my mom and daddy were prayer warriors. And I didn't ever fear if something come against my mom and daddy couldn't pray me through it. Does this make sense? I'm preaching to your heart today. Because I'm telling you, we need to learn and rediscover how to pray through some things.
Amen.
We've lived in seasons where we can just pray for something or we can just ignore something. But it's too close to our front porch to ignore it any longer. And I'm not for sure if we should have been ignoring it for this long.
Amen.
It's time for the church to pray. It's time for families to pray. It's time for us to bow our knees. It's time for us to pray until we feel peace and we feel it lifting. Oh, God, I hope you can understand my heart today. God, help us. Let me say, I feel this. Some of you are one prayer away. You walked around. Justin, you've been around in Jericho many times. Let's go again tomorrow. Is this making sense? We've been around. We've been around. We go, what you going to do tomorrow? I'm getting up at 6 a.m. I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk around again. What you going to do the next day? I'm going to get up and march again. I'm going to march until I get another order. And I'll tell you something, guys. Pastor's going to do. Pastor's going to pray until I get a different order. And if it's at midnight, if it's at 2 o'clock in the morning, if it's in the middle of the day, I'm going to pray until I get a different order. Because I'm desperate for the presence and the power of God to operate in my life and in the life of this church. I don't want dead, dying, frozen church services.
Amen.
But I want church services that's filled with the power and the presence of God. Where the Spirit can flow freely through our midst.
Thank you, Jesus.
And that we as a people pray in our homes, pray in our schools, pray in our offices. I was at Newt's picking up and precious police officer. Was there with his head down, getting his order, to go order. He was sweating. And I think you were there with me. We're leaving. And I walked over. We were leaving out. All of a sudden the Lord just prompted me. Man, go care for him. Go love him. I just pivoted. Told him, I said, go on, sweetheart. He's going, get out there and I walked over. He wasn't the same color as me. But we're brothers. And he was hurting. I don't know exactly what was all going on with him. And I said, sir, I'm going to let you know something. I love you. He looked over at me. We're in the middle of the news. And they were 50% capacity all the way. Probably 70%. I looked at him. I said, man, I love you. He looked. I said, I love you and I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. And I talk about the volume on cover right now. I love you. He looked over at me and he said, I love you too. I said, have you paid for your order? He said, no. I said, I want to pay for his order. I was hoping, I said, if I ordered these kids for the whole police force, I ain't going to get it. I didn't think about it. And they were like, $9.92. I was like, hallelujah. Only for officer. But you think about it. Look, if you want to pray for somebody's meal behind you, you better be careful when you pay for a minivan. Man, you Chick-fil-A, that can be expensive. Man, we're right there, middle of social distance and all that stuff. I said, man, I'd hug you if I could. I said, I want to hug you. And he kind of looked at me, and the person behind the thing kind of looking at me like, this guy crazy. I'm like, man, I'll do anything to touch your heart. I'll stand on my head and gargle peanut butter if I can touch your heart and give you some peace and love right now. Because you're the most important thing in the world to me right now. Because God's put you on my heart. I told him that. He hugged me. He hugged me. And I said, I want to pray with you. And we sit there right there in Newt's and we prayed. He said, God, touch me. Be with me. Bless me. Protect me. And I said, will you do me the biggest favor in the world? He said, what is that? I said, you're sweating. You're tired. Sit down in this air conditioner and just have a good meal. I said, will you do that for me? He said, I'll do it. I said, all right, I love it. Man. God, use my hands. Church, did y'all feel this today? I'm closing. Use my voice. Use my feet. America needs some missionaries right now. Your pastor, America needs some missionaries right now. And you're them. our mission field. People are hurting. And until every single soul is saved in our area, our work is not done.
Amen.
Our work is not done. Just think about it. Just think with me. Just think with me. We speak a word. We speak a word over your life. God is wanting to take you places that you've never been before. I feel this is a prophetic word for some folks in this house. Prayer last night, the Lord gave it. I wrote this down. God wants you to take you places that you've never been before. He wants you to see things you've never seen before in the Spirit. There's new dialects in prayer. It's called the Spirit making intercession for you, and God is calling you to it. There's new dimensions of prayer. And if you want God to do something new in your life, let go of the old. Become legendary in your praying. Legendary in the way that you live. For the cause of Christ. For my city. And for the lost. We give ourselves. Not for comfort. Not for preference. But for your presence. And for a harvest, we give ourselves. And so, God, we surrender our services. We surrender our agendas. We surrender, God, to you. And we say, God, help us to reach our city. Help us to reach the lost. For sure, it was Jonathan Edwards, but it was one of the great preachers of old. He said, if all of England was glass broken, shattered on the ground, and every lost soul was on the other side, he said, I would crawl on my knees and on my hands across all of England if I could reach one with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Where is our ability and passion to sacrifice? Where is our prayer life? Where is our passion that robs us from sleep? That brings tears to our eyes and it breaks our heart. Hope I preached today. I said, God, let me preach to their heart. So I call us to passion. I call us to effectual, fervent prayer. The next few moments, God, I've laid every single thing out to you today. It consumes me. It consumes me. It consumes me. You say, Joel, is it a burden? Yes, it is a burden, but it's a burden I gladly bear. It's something I put. And here's what I say, guys, it's for us. It's for us. Let's become missionaries. Y'all feel that? Let's become missionaries. Let's become missionaries. And let's leverage everything for the glory of Jesus Christ. If you feel God speaking to you today, all over this place, why don't we lift up our hands and just go to God in prayer. The worship team, just come back and just sing that chorus. Come on back, come on, let's linger in prayer. Come on, let's really just stretch out and just really just reach higher. Just as the rocket was, just as America's reaching for the stars, let us right now reach for higher heights in the Spirit. Let us reach for greater things in the Spirit. Oh, yes, God. Come on, church family, let's just pray and just really just push into God right now. Let's lean into it. Legendary prayer. Legendary prayers. Come on. Dare to pray something great right now. Dare to pray something big right now. Come on, just circle it in your mind. Circle it in your heart. Well, God's doing a major work. God's doing a big work in this house right now. Come on, church. Come on, church. Oh, I prayed last night. I said, God, I want to pray for the lost like it was my own brother who was lost. God, I want to pray with such passion and fervor like it was my own family member going through it. Oh, come on. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, church family, as God is calling us to something greater, something bigger than what we are. And God, we need your spirit because this is so much greater than us. But through you, God, it can happen. Just a few more moments. Let's just linger in this right now. I believe God is doing a great work. Never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle.
I know, you never.
Come on, let's sing that one more time.
You can do all things.
Just sing it out in this building.
You can do all things but fail. Oh, you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know you never will.
Church family, let's give God just a shout of praise like the victory. We're having a baptism right out here immediately after service. I'm going to dismiss you by Rose. If you brought and you're giving, you can put those in the boxes on your way out. Those are secure. Those are locked. And it's private. So you put a check or however you would put that, you put in the boxes. Everything's secure there. You can also give online, whatever God's put on your heart. And you can text 940-000. I love that, y'all. I'm so pumped up about having that. I am excited about that. I love you, whole family. You're amazing. Invite somebody out next week. We will make room for it. Y'all, this was history. This is the conclusion. We did 2 services today. Come on, somebody. 2 services today. We had good crowds at both of them. Guys, we are just now, this is Hope 2.0. Y'all ready to launch this thing? Y'all ready? Let's do it. Let's do this. Invite your friends, invite your neighbors. This section over here can go first. If you want to see the baptism, you can easily social distance around the baptism / first name.